396-5555. Jacksonville.
Handoff. Here comes Fred. Looking up the middle. Now cutting back. There he goes. Fred's at the 40. Fred breaks a tackle. He's on the run at the 50. Fred's on the go. He's at the 30. Fred 20. Fred 10. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Wow. So Mackey's got a hold. There he is, 30. Taylor outside 40. There he goes to the 45-50. It's a foot race 40. Taylor 30. Taylor to the 20. He's to the 10. He's pulled down, but he gets into the end zone. Touchdown on the first play of the game. 77 yards. Fred Taylor erupts. High kickoff. Desmond Howard's got him at the 10. Has blockers, 15. Now there's a reverse play. He throws it across the field to Cedric Tillman. Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith down the sideline. Here he goes, 40. He's got room. He could go. 50, 40, 30. It's a foot race. They're going to catch him. 10-5. Touchdown, Jaguars. 85 yards on the double-dip alley-oop reverse play from Desmond Howard to Jimmy Smith. Unreal. They trail by 6. Brunel takes the snap. Quick throw. Howard catch. 15, 10, 5. He'll score. He'll score. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Touchdown, Desmond Howard.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome in. The old double-dip alley-oop reverse play rears its head once again. Tony, it's not its ugly head. It was a great head to be raised there. And Dylan reminding us this morning, that's the open to the show he put together during the original throwback week, for the Prowler unis, which the Jags will be playing once again. I'm playing with my headset right now because it's going in and out. And when it comes in, it's really loud.
Yeah, I've had the same thing. You can see I've had to take the adapter off of mine to go to the smaller, but just because it's having whatever issues it's having here for the last couple of days.
Is that here or is it in my headset? I think it's my headset.
Yeah, I think it's just the headset.
I think it's getting old, baby.
Yeah.
Like me.
It happens.
This is creeping along just like me. This is probably the longest I've kept one intact and usable for a long time. They have these tiny little wires that like to break.
They get bent up. Something happens.
Yeah, and we don't have it's not like
it's not your grandfather's world. Everything's built to break.
It really is, right? I've kept good care of this set. I've kept them in the original box in my locker.
Yeah.
Tony and I actually have lockers here. Everyone has a locker. We're the only ones who
lock it.
Who lock them.
I've had 3 headsets just walk away.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Right there. Keep them in the box.
I don't mind if you borrow it. Fine. It really doesn't bother me. If it's in my locker when I open it, I'm like, cool. I don't care who used it.
Right on.
Right? But then
not gonna hurt it.
3 walk away. It's like, well, I need it for the show.
Can I please have my property?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, good morning, everybody. This is where we are in the season. Jags eliminated.
Right.
Got a fan base half happy, half mad that they won a game.
Yeah, we play that open, and I was thinking in my head, it's like, how long will it take to get back to that energy?
Oh.
Right? Like, at any point. It wasn't that long ago that we had that kind of thing.
Go 3-0 next year, and you'll have it.
Right, like that kind of thing. But it just feels so far away. I mean, they were 8-3.
Yeah.
At one point last year, and that kind of energy was real.
There was some of that, yeah.
They were coming off a divisional round appearance. They went toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs. They're 8-3. They're playing for the 1 seed in the AFC that night. There was all kinds of energy everywhere, and then it's just been downer, downer, downer. Like there hadn't been an up moment basically since. And I get it. Like I heard Tony Baselli, one of our promos running right now, is from when he was talking to Pete on Monday, and he's saying he's so disappointed that there isn't a lot of energy being created by them having beaten the Titans. Why isn't this a bigger deal? It's like, well,
how much energy can you create from that performance?
There's nothing left, in the fan base right now. It's like the fans that are cool with them having beat the Titans and they think it's awesome whenever they beat the Titans are like, yeah, we beat the Titans.
Right.
That's kind of the energy they have. It's better than losing to the Titans.
But we have another month to go, and we know we're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs.
Like, there's just nothing there right now.
Yeah, I mean, it was a, by NFL standards, kind of a boring game.
It was.
Right? And so, granted, you'll always take a win, right? Or for the folks, I want the draft pick. You know what I'm saying. A win, to me.
The average fan just wants to watch them win. They're watching every Sunday. They just want to watch them win. We interact with a bunch of fans who may be, more broad and the things they're looking for from the football team, and the draft pick comes into play a little bit more. But I think the average fan just wants to watch the Jaguars win football games.
But the average fan wants them to win 37-35 if they're going to win close, right? If they're going to be bad on one side of the ball, they'd rather be bad on defense, right? That's just the nature, because it's fun to watch your team go up and down the field.
Yeah.
And, for all the talk, if you're an organization.
You can build on that, yeah.
Yeah, but if you're an organization that's built on defense, run the ball, tough mindset, those cold weather teams, and you don't appreciate a 10-9 victory. Well, your fan base wouldn't either if they did it every week, right? And, there are those games every year where you play that. And I can appreciate one of those games if it's a really well-played defensive game. I just thought this was a poorly played offensive game.
It was awful.
So, look, this is where we are.
Yeah, and good for the Jags defense for having their best day of the year.
Absolutely.
This point, and that's why they won the game on Sunday. It's certainly not a whole lot of what they were doing offensively. They scored 10 points and win a game. And look, we talked about it on Monday, right? It is, where does that rank in the most surprising victories they've had? In the last 3 years.
I don't think it was that surprising. I mean, Tennessee's a bad football team.
They are, but this is quite possibly the worst defense in franchise history.
Okay.
Right.
But it's not like Tennessee's this world beater offense.
No, but I think that defense holding anybody to 6 is stunning to me. And it's not because I think Tennessee is any good. I think Tennessee's really bad. And that's why they won the game on Sunday.
I'll put it this way. I think they beat or they lost to Minnesota 12-7. I think that's a more impressive defensive performance. Even though they gave up 12, a much better team.
It was a better team.
Yeah, you look at Darnold this week throwing 5 touchdowns against Atlanta, right? I mean,
Darnold lost his mind on 3 of those plays, but it happens.
Right,
yeah. And you get credit
Jags
for forcing
advantage.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and you held them to 12 points, and Minnesota has been scoring well above that all year long. I mean, most teams do score well above that. What's Minnesota's low other than that? 23, 20. Let's see. They won 12-7. Yeah, 20 points. They haven't failed to put up 20 against anybody except Jacksonville.
Yeah,
so
we all watched that game.
Figure.
Yeah, and it felt like a game where Minnesota scored 30, but they scored 12.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's how the game felt. It's like, oh, my gosh, they're doing whatever they want until they get inside the 20. That's when things would fall apart for that Minnesota team. And as we talked about at the time, it doesn't hurt you all that much to turn the ball over if the Jags are going to get it inside their own 20-yard line, because offensively they're not going to do anything with it. That's just where the team is right now. So they forced a bunch of turnovers but weren't able to take advantage of them because they're just not able to take advantage of those kind of things right now. And that goes back to the Tennessee game this week. If they had found a way to put points on the board at the end of the half, it would have been the most unlikely drive I've seen from the Jaguars in a long time. Like, with where their offense is right now, if they had found a way to get points on the board from inside, starting a drive from inside their own 10.
They were closer to giving up points on that interception going the other way than they were
that
scoring.
Would have been crazy, but that's, that was that game. And it also explains why there wasn't a whole lot of energy from a win. Right, like all these things that we're talking about with how unlikely was this win, how unlikely was that drive. Like it feels like everything the Jacksonville Jaguars do right now that is any kind of semblance of success is they're having to climb way uphill, to get to these kind of things. But they've created that for themselves. They're a 3-win football team.
Look, I'll give them credit for the performance, but it's an outlier.
Yeah.
Right? They've had a couple of really good performances on defense. The standard has been much lowered. So to offset those performances, you got to be really bad in those other games if you're ranked among the very bottom teams in the NFL on defense. And, we'll focus a lot on the NFL draft coming up, but free agency obviously is a way to build your team or re-signing some of your own guys. So today's question of the day, presented by Chad and Sandy Real Estate, does focus in on the defensive side of the ball. And we ask you today, which of these positions will be the biggest area of need on defense for the Jaguars heading into the offseason? Keeping in mind which players are going to be free agents. Maybe they'll come back, maybe they won't. But like right now, Andre Sisco leaves. He's not part of the formula for the Jacksonville Jaguars unless they re-sign him before the end of the year. And I don't anticipate that happening at all. So the positions we put on there in the poll today, listed alphabetically, cornerback. And, I totally get the idea of it doesn't have to be your biggest need if you're taking a guy in the top 5 picks in the draft if he is a premier player. You know, a lot of people would want Travis Hunter. I don't necessarily think cornerback is the biggest need defensively for this team, but a lot of people do based on the results so far. Defensive end. And granted, you've got 2 really good starters, I think, there, but you've got no depth. And that is a position where you have to rotate in guys about 30% of the time, right? Even for the elite players, with the rare exception, that's one spot. I don't have issues with them rotating defensive linemen. I have issues with the wholesale rotating, and that it's his turn to go in. You throw the rotation out. When your guy's ready to play, you put him on the field. Like, if Josh Hines-Allen's had enough of a rest, I'm not counting reps to give to the next guy before I put Josh Hines-Allen back in.
Well, and they don't have anybody on the depth chart that it's like, oh, it's going to be kind of nice to get a fresh this guy on the field to give this guy a breather. It's like,
let's hold on until we get Josh Hines-Allen
need a breather.
back.
Talk on it. Yeah.
Defensive tackle, which a lot of people are gravitating towards in the poll today, and safety as well. Are your options. So corner, defensive end, defensive tackle, and safety. Which of those positions do you think will be the biggest area of need for the Jaguars defense heading into the offseason? We can get into the offense a little bit from that standpoint tomorrow. So if you want to get in and talk about that on the defensive side today, 641-1010 works for the Garber Auto Mall phone lines or for the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can always hit us up in the YouTube virtual studio chat on social media. You'll find us at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Go Tigers.
Dylan, are we retiring pockets? Is this where you're at on this?
Yeah, I'm tired.
I'm tired of pockets, huh?
Yeah.
You want to go by coach? What do you want to be?
Just Dylan.
Just Dylan.
Yeah. You can call me coach whenever we're talking about coach stuff. Like when we're in track season coming up in a month, you can call me coach.
Yeah, probably won't do that.
Okay.
But I'd call you coach if that's what you want to go by.
It'd be all right.
But
just call me Dylan.
You want to retire pockets, man. If it slips out, I apologize.
It won't offend me.
No?
It will not offend me.
All right.
I got many nicknames across all my work platforms where I work.
What else you got? We need to know.
Man, like when I worked at FedEx, it was Gunsmoke. Because there's something with Dylan in that movie.
Marshall Matt Dillon. No,
yes.
Matt Dillon. That makes sense.
I've had a couple of, like, someone called me Pickle, like Dill Pickle. That was just one job.
Probably shouldn't have told me that one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
All right.
Call me Pickle.
What about just Marshall?
Marshall?
We used to have a guy who was loosely associated with our show on another station. Was he here too, Tone? No, he was just at the other spot, right? Mm-hmm. We called the fire marshal because when Byron Leftwich got drafted, we just basically told Leftwich, oh, yeah, big rookie autograph signing coming up out at the beach.
Yeah.
You're the star. Would you like to come out and sit in with us? And we got Leftwich to come out. He was the first pick of the draft for the Jags, 7th overall that year. We got Vince Manawai to come. And we got Marcus Ogden, who was a Jaguar draft pick, who was Jonathan Ogden's little brother. Mm-hmm. But we're out there, and we were out at the beach. Where were we at, Tony? What's that spot in Ponte Vedra that we were at? I can't think of the name of right now.
Me either.
You know what I'm talking about. You can picture it. Anyway, we're in there, and just tons of fans coming in because we're excited. Here's the franchise quarterback of the future. Byron Leftwich couldn't have been more accommodating. He's signing autographs. And at some point, we had an intern, and he decided to open the fire emergency door and set off the alarm.
Oh, my God.
In the middle of the whole thing, we're on the air. And
so y'all had to leave?
No, it wasn't like that, but it was just like you've had a fire alarm now blaring on your live radio show.
That's pretty cool.
So, yeah, I thought it was pretty cool as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to tell you, Dylan, I'm going to miss pockets. Right, given the origin of pockets and the
thing
nickname.
is, man, I have to explain it every single time.
Right.
Like somebody,
it's from a rap name.
It's a rap name, and I have the full name here.
But it's from the bit of Tom Segura, and like having to explain it gets very exhausting.
Hold my pocket. Styling Dylan D. Silverface, aka Justice Pockets.
Pour one out for Justice Pockets. Justice, Marshall Justice.
Freaking internet, man.
Marshall Dillon bringing the justice. No. All right. Freaking internet never dies. All right, if you want to get in today, you know the ways to do it. Let's talk a little Jaguar football. John Oehser in hour number 2. What is the defensive position that'll be seen as the Jaguars' biggest need once we hit the end of the regular season, and whoever's going to be a free agent becomes a free agent? We'll get into that as we go along. We'll hear a few thoughts from Doug Peterson from Monday. Doug will talk again coming up in about 20 minutes. So anything fresh and worthy of passing along, we will do that for you here today. And I presume Mac Jones will talk a little bit later on today as well.
12:10
coordinators tomorrow. 12:10 for Mac, but what, 10:35 for Doug or thereabouts?
That's it. 10:35 Doug.
Look at
12:10 Mac.
Thanks, Coach.
Coordinators tomorrow.
Appreciate you, Coach Pickles.
Same schedule.
Coach
every week.
Pickles, is that better?
Pickles.
Coach Pickles?
That is weird.
It is.
I got people coming to me, one Pickles. I don't like Pickles.
Just old Dylan. Just plain Dylan. There you go. This is Jaguars Today. Tony Smith, Mike Dempsey, Dylan Denmark on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks. Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy Sandwiches, Dandy Subs. Started by the Thompson family, the Dandy company was, nearly 70 years ago now. A Jacksonville-based company that just serves up delicious food. I mean, it's quite simple, right? You want convenience, they've got that. You want high-quality ingredients, they've got that. Always fresh, always delicious, phenomenal variety, great prices. Dandy hits every single box, checks them, rechecks them, and continues to deliver the goods all across the First Coast. With the cooler weather rolling in, you can try that hot roast beef and provolone, the Italian combo that'll melt in your mouth, the all-white meat spicy buffalo chicken, and, of course, the big old juicy classic 100% beef cheeseburger. All those served on fresh ciabatta bread, which is baked locally and delivered daily. And those are just 4 of the many varieties from Dandy. If you're hungry at any time in Duval, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy and do it today.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL. Every team has bumps and bruises, but a major injury can shake the season.
Let me know if he's ever going to play football again, or do I need to find me another wide receiver?
Listen for the personal injury attorney's Farah and Farah Injury Update.
Jacksonville.
On 1010XL.
Open enrollment is here, so it's time to secure health coverage for your family. Whether you need Affordable Care Act plans, dental, or Medicare, contact Florida First Insurance Group on University Boulevard, an award-winning Florida Blue agency well known for providing superior service. Theo Mitchelson and his team at Florida First make the process easy and stress-free with medical and dental insurance you can count on. Plus, listen to this. Based on eligibility, many people pay absolutely nothing for coverage. Contact Theo Mitchelson and the Florida First Insurance Group today and let your health be their priority. And a reminder for Florida Blue members, visit Sanitas Medical Center with 3 locations in town offering primary care, walk-in services, and on-site pharmacy and mental health support. SANITAS Medical Center. Florida First Insurance Group and Sanitas Medical Center, a winning team in Northeast Florida.
You've got so many chances to win big on Hard Rock Bet. Even a small bet can bring in that serious cash. All you need is $1 and a dream.
Unbelievable! They've hit the parlay. Let's go!
Big payouts for every kind of player.
Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Get up to $100 back if your first bet doesn't win. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
AA Automotive helps keep your car in dependable travel condition. Stop in today. They'll check the brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and AC to get you right back to your holiday plans. AA Automotive on Richard Street. Full service auto repair you can count on.
We're H-A-P-P-Y, because Happy Honda Days are here. Everything is bigger. Bigger selection, bigger discounts, bigger trade-in values. Honda, quality, value, safety. Don't miss Happy Honda Days, going on now at your local Honda dealer.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
You've heard fish stories, and Captain Kevin has a million of them.
We love to tell stories, hear your stories.
On the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show.
Big fish.
Brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Thursday nights at 6.
On 1010XL AM.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too. From Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Mia here. Since 1982, Closets by Design has specialized in creating dream spaces for every budget. My designer, Frances, made the process so easy. She came to my house and designed a walk-in closet that's not only beautiful, but incredibly functional for me and Bo Valentine. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation at 800-293-3744 or visit closetsbydesign.com. And be sure to check out their end-of-year sale, including 18-month special financing. Closets by Design.
Now, it's time to showcase the Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game. Live generously and life will treat you royally.
Logan Cook was slicing and dicing over the weekend in the Music City. The teal and black punter recorded 198 yards on 4 punts, with as long as going 53 yards. Cook has been a master chef all season long and is your Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I just cannot say enough good things about my friends at Pella Windows and Doors. They have the highest quality products, the strongest limited warranties in the industry, and they just flat out look amazing. But don't just take my word for it. Consumer Reports still has Pella rated #1 in all 3 major window categories, so why not go with the best? Call them today or visit the Pella showroom and be sure to ask about the latest hurricane and impact-resistant windows. That's Pella Windows and Doors on Phillips Highway, and tell them Mike sent you.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right. Suggestion on the text line, the motorcycle song by Arlo Guthrie. I don't know. I've never heard this song, so I'm just going to imagine he pronounces it motorcycle because the lyrics are, I don't want a pickle, just want to ride on my motorcycle.
I would assume, yeah.
I don't want a tickle because I'd rather ride on my motorcycle.
Makes more sense than a pikel.
I'm going to, yes, right? That's so true. I don't think Dylan's going to play that for us. I don't. I'm pretty sure that he's not going to make that his walk-up music. Tony Smith just informed me after 2 decades he's tired of Fat Tony and wants to go in a different direction. Slim T.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
We hardly even reference you as Fat Tony.
Not
anymore.
much.
It's just kind of like a classic.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it's on X. That's still my name on X, but
It is that. You're right. When I was franchise producer years ago, he came up with a great nickname for me.
Oh?
Yeah, MD.
MD
Very
works.
creative.
It's about the song, by the way.
The Arlo got the motorcycle song?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to play it for us?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'd rather ride my motorcycle.
See?
That's it.
And I don't want to die.
All right.
All right, there it is.
that's enough, Arlo. Arlo can come out for Alice's restaurant every Thanksgiving and then go right back to wherever you currently are storing him.
Classic hit 1974.
Was that 74? Somebody.
The music video was 74.
There was a music video in 74?
No, this was live in 74, so it was before.
Okay.
Released in 1967.
67, yes. According
What a time to be alive.
The text line. I missed it, but not by much. All right. So anyway, appreciate all the submissions we get because we can choose whether or not to mention them going forward. All right. Doug Peterson will be speaking in about 10 minutes. So let's hear just a few thoughts from what he had to say on Monday coming out of that game. And one of the areas, Tony, that is getting a lot of response in today's poll, the Chad and Sandy Real Estate question of the day, which defensive position will be the biggest need out of the defensive needs? Okay. Cornerback, safety, defensive end, defensive tackle. Defensive tackle's getting a lot of run right now. You just spent a second-round pick on Mason Smith this year. The last 2 games, he has played the most snaps of any defensive tackle on this team, and by far his highest percentage of the snaps at any point this year. And Doug Peterson was asked Monday just to talk about the performance he saw from Smith against Tennessee this week.
Yesterday was one of his better performances. Quite frankly, he was strong, especially at the point of attack. Anchored a little bit better. A couple times he got a little undisciplined. A couple times, lost his gap, lost leverage, and they're able to give up some scrambles and whatnot. But I think for the most part, he is probably one of his better games, and it's a bright spot. Something, he'll learn obviously from it and get better and continue to improve. So, yeah, it was a good game for him.
Look, we are not there at practice, you and I, okay? No. And really, at this time of year, the media's only there to take roles.
See them stretch.
Right, see them stretch, and you see who's there and who's not there. And that's what they're limited to. That's not their fault. That's what the rules are. But I feel, Tony, that Mason Smith's struggles this year or his lack of instant impact is not due to talent. I think he's got all the physical tools to be a really good player in the National Football League. I don't know if it's, he's just not stout enough yet against the run. I think he can get there. I don't know if it's, his practice habits or his play recognition, or, you're asking him to do, instead of just saying, hey, this is your gap, that's it, forget everything else that's going on around you. Sometimes you got to simplify it for a rookie. I think it's more of that kind of intangible stuff that can get corrected, with proper coaching and guidance going forward. I think Mason Smith can have a really bright future as a Jacksonville Jaguar.
Yeah, I think it's hard to separate in your mind with a conversation like we're having about Mason Smith here, separate how you feel about Mason playing or not playing from how you feel about Doug Peterson and whether or not he should continue to be the coach, and Trent Baalke and whether or not he should continue to be the GM. And I think all those things kind of get smashed together in a lot of ways. Like you said, we're not out of practice. I don't know if he's a good practice player or not.
Right.
I don't know if he's ready for any of those things. I don't know the rationale for the decisions that have been made for him not to play as much as he's not played this year. I think, is it a shame that we get to the end of his rookie year, basically, and now it's like, yeah, we're going to let him play the most snaps at defensive tackle after basically not letting him play, to this point this year, that whatever injury he was dealing with, which we still don't really know anything about, like those kind of things, I'm in the dark. When it comes to all that, I am very much in favor of play him as much as he can play, over the course of the last month. And if he's bad while he's doing it, so be it. It's better for him to have that bad time on the field than it is for him to not be on the field as a second-round pick, because at some point they need something out of him, and it's reflected in the poll we're asking today.
Right. You can't be consistently bad, right? You can't be a guy who's just not getting it and not improving, right?
Sure.
You got to see improvement, but the way you're going to improve is by playing.
Play.
So you got to start at the baseline. And he's played about 2/3 of the snaps, and that's about what you're going to play.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you are going to rotate that position. I do wonder that if Eric Armstead had come here under different circumstances and they just had a vision in line with what Eric Armstead's wants are and what the teams are to play him as a 3 technique this year. Putting Mason Smith aside for the minute, because we've seen Eric Armstead's pressure rate is about triple when he's rushing from the interior than it is from the outside.
Yeah.
You've got him under contract here next year. He's going to be here next year. It would be shocking if he wasn't, because you're going to eat a massive cap hit to get rid of him. So why not have him? The only thing, you'd maybe save some actual dollars, but I wonder how much that's even compared to the cap. I don't know how much that's a consideration for a multi-billionaire owner, right? Yeah. That's kind of the cost of doing business. Sometimes you pay guys to go away, but I wonder if he was on board and the team was on board and had been using him that way all season long, would we feel as strongly? Now, look, he's not going to be a long-term guy, but if you had him and you had Mason Smith coming up kind of behind him, and you thought for another year you're going to have that combo, and then between Devon Hamilton and Jordan Jefferson, and maybe we still need some beef in there, but maybe it wouldn't be that high on the list.
And again, I don't know what's being said to or about players behind the scenes, right? Like, I don't know what level of frustration about the role that Eric Armstead has played here in 2024 has been expressed to him. I don't know. We know how the fans feel. We've both expressed ourselves about how we feel about the way that Eric Armstead has been used to this point this season. But based on what we've heard from inside the building, the first frustration that would have been expressed would be they cut him. Right? Like, that would be the first frustration they had expressed about Eric Armstead, and what he's been asked to do would be, we're done, right? And given the money that's attached to it, it would be beyond what I would expect the team to do at this point. I think that they've gotten the Armstead thing wrong from the beginning. Whichever side came to the deal with, we're going to let him play end, whether that was his idea or the team's idea, whoever's idea it was a terrible idea. And that they've never been able to turn off that on a team that needs so much impact from inside with a player that has been impactful on the inside when he's played there to this point in his career. Like, the logic side of this just makes no sense.
No, and look, from his standpoint, I can understand a guy who's in his early 30s going, hey, I want to play what I feel is a less physically demanding position. And if you're willing to let me do that and come in, I can't really blame him for that, right? If that was out there and known and talked about and accepted coming in, but you're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, or vice versa, is what it feels like. Let's get Irvin E-Town before we hit the first break here. We'll have a little bit more from Doug Peterson coming up, John Oehser in hour 2. Irv, you're on Jaguars Today. Go ahead, man.
Man, I love the discussion. Going down to the practices and then home games, watching the defensive line, I always want to see Hines Allen, Trayvon Walker, Armstead, and Mason Smith in the lineup and never see it. And I think it exposes something that maybe we didn't realize over the last 3 years is player development and realizing that some guys just don't practice well, but they play well. And Little's another example of that. You put them in the game, and all of a sudden they're doing things that they need to do. And Tyra Lacey lives in my neighborhood, and, man, we talk about it every once in a while at the mailbox, and it just – he doesn't understand it either, why certain guys are playing and certain guys aren't, and he never gets to, quote-unquote, never gets to rub shoulders with the guys he feels like he can make the most impact with. And it just exposes something that just doesn't make sense to me. But like you said, Mike, you never see those four guys on the field at the same time.
Irv, thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it. Look, I don't know if that's the ideal. Like, I'm not saying they're never, like, in third and long. I would think that would be the ideal lineup, right?
Yeah.
I don't know necessarily on first and second down, because I think right now the feeling is Mason Smith is better as go hunt the quarterback than opposed to be an every down run stuffer.
Right.
But I'd like to have seen more of it, certainly, than we've seen, which is basically none. And especially, that's what I envisioned on third down this year, Tony. Get those four guys, and you've got two guys that can penetrate on the inside. Somebody is going to beat their single block, because there are only so many guys you can double team in that scenario.
Yeah, they still have a chance to have Walker and Hines Allen with double-digit sacks in back-to-back seasons, and we'll see if they get there with both those guys. But the idea of bringing Armstead in and the dividends that could pay for those guys with something on the inside that could actually push the pocket.
That's what we thought the vision was.
Right. That wasn't the vision. Apparently, when they signed him, is as stunning as anything that has happened in the 2024 Jacksonville Jaguars. Right? When they made the deal, it was like, now we got a guy that can push from the inside. Thank goodness. Finally, they got somebody they can count on to give them a little bit more of that with the guys they have on the edge. Well, they said, no, we want him to play edge.
Or we've agreed to let him play edge.
It's just,
however you want to look at it.
It's confounding.
All right, Irv, thank you for getting us rolling here. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, continue the discussion on Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Coach Pickles here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Experience the winning combination of style and performance with Renewal by Anderson, energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Right now, buy one window or patio door and get one 40% off. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. The first 50 customers get a free TrueScreen upgrade, but this offer expires December 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called The Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank NA, member FDIC.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday
On Jaguars Today.
Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Bolt City AC, heating that rules.
Is your AC ready for the holidays? Bolt City Heating and Air ensures your AC stays in tip-top shape. We know that a clean AC is a healthy AC. Upgrade yours for just $96 a month and enjoy free duct cleanings with your new system. Plus, ask about our 0% financing options.
Bolt City AC, we got the crew. Bolt City AC.
Visit BoldCityAC.com.
Hicken here for Bound 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bound 9. Visit Bound 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bound 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
When they were little, the other girls played with dolls.
Aww.
They played with footballs.
Who's that? Yes, it's us.
Helmets and heels.
From the First Coast Lighting Studios at 1010XL.
Weekdays noon to 2.
Some girls have all the fun.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses an AI-driven tech to get you approved for cash in as little as 1 day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you can be credit card debt-free. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, MLS, consumeraccess.org.
Human trafficking happens in Jacksonville. As a man, you can do something about it. Buy Survivor-made holiday gifts at Rethreaded. From leather goods to toffees and treats, shop in person or online at rethreaded.com. Changing lives through gifting.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
Hello, I'm Malcolm Anthony. I've been practicing criminal defense law for over 40 years. It's what I love to do, what I do well. Stay out of trouble, but if you don't, call me, Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. 285-4LAW for Malcolm Anthony.
This holiday season, give the gift of comfort and joy. Comfort food and the joy that comes with digging into a huge plate of diner favorites from Metro Diner. And to make things even more merry, now through the end of the year, they're adding on a $10 bonus card with every $50 spent on gift cards. Metro Diner gift cards are the perfect gift for everyone on your list. Friends, family, or coworkers. Stop by the diner or metrodiner.com and get all your gift shopping done easily. Happy holidays from Metro Diner.
Come to Monahan Jewelers' 47th annual holiday sale now with up to 30% off GIA certified diamonds and up to 40% off our entire store. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. We're not a big box store. We're your local family jeweler with an amazing hand-picked inventory for every budget, and with interest-free financing, enjoy beautiful jewelry with a low monthly payment. Support your local family jeweler this Christmas with up to 40% off our entire inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, open 7 days a week in December.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Former Jaguars linebacker Tom McManus wants to see more of tight end Brenton Strange.
I don't know why you don't include Strange. He had that great play again, back-to-back weeks. Great play, 20-plus yards. Never see him again. Never target him again. I think he had one target, the one he took up the field on the crossing route. Too bad the guy clipped him. He would have gone even farther. I think he needs more work in that passing game.
Strange was a guest this week of Hayes Carline and spoke about his progression.
It's been good this year. I feel like I've grown a lot, but I got so much more that I can do, and I'm going to keep growing and keep being that guy for this team.
I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, we continue along here. Jaguars Today. John Oehser about 20 minutes away from joining us. Doug Peterson, not saying a ton. Super exciting so far this morning. Being asked a lot about Aaron Rodgers and, what he sees from him still to this day. Tony, Aaron Rodgers had some, flippant comments about the Jags. Aaron Rodgers, by the way, I hope is looking in the mirror and realizes the Jets are 3-10, which is the record of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
What did he say
this year? Here's what he said. Tell us.
Assuming the quote is real, and in today's world, who the heck knows?
But I've had people say, "What do you think about what Aaron Rodgers said?" Yeah. You're right. I didn't hear it. I don't watch the Pat McAfee show or
right. But the date on the screen, at least on the shot that I'm looking at, is yesterday's date, and he is on McAfee's show.
I feel like this would be a bigger story,
right?
If this was a true.
And the quote, at least that is on there, is, "I'll retire on the spot if we lose to the Jaguars this week. A man can only take so much."
Yeah, that feels more like an Onion headline.
It does,
right? Than something that anybody would say. I mean, I get there's disrespect in the National Football League. Rarely would you hear that in a press conference or any kind of media setting leading up to a game against a particular opponent.
He's wild enough with some of this stuff that he might.
That you think, right, if anyone might say something like that and doesn't give a rat's behind, maybe it's him. So, I don't know. Somebody asked, can we help him along? Well, maybe.
Yeah, beat him.
We'll find out. I mean,
it's allowed, yeah.
The Jets are not a good football team.
No.
And neither are the Jags, for that matter. But certainly, I can't see where he would think that team outclasses much of anybody in the National Football League. So I'll have to hear that for myself. But maybe it is true. Maybe it's just such a
sure
low-hanging fruit opportunity to pick on Jacksonville that nobody even bats an eye. And they're like, oh, yeah, of course you said that about Jacksonville.
I haven't heard the clip. It's got the video kind of attached to it, but it feels like the kind of thing that if Aaron Rodgers said it on the show, I'm watching the two hosts. McAfee is there, like they're on screen. There's no reaction to it. It was like he says that and no one reacts. Like it does feel like one of those things that if he said it, they would at least chuckle. That he would be willing to say it.
Even if it's not like, what? Like, they wouldn't react like that.
I can't find anything.
No, it's probably just
AI.
AI, The Onion, that kind of thing. And it makes sense. The Onion is good with some of those headlines that make you think that's actually plausible.
Sure.
Not 100% sure about that. So, let's see here. Mia O'Brien tweeting out, Evan Ingram has a shoulder issue, will not practice today, but Doug Peterson expects him to play against the Jets this week. Anton Harrison will be back at practice today. He, of course, missed this week due to injury. So keeping an eye on all that going on. Anything else coming out of today's presser? Any actual real quotes, we'll try to pass those along to you. A couple of thoughts from Doug Peterson, flipping it back to the offense. They're going to roll with Mac Jones, obviously, for the rest of the season, as long as he stays healthy, and then you don't have to go to C.J. Beathard in that instance. So, what do you do? I mean, Mac Jones, the first two starts were abysmal. Really never got going much at all in them. This one kind of got going a little bit in the fourth quarter, but that's a long time to wait, and most teams are not going to help you out like Tennessee did with their low level of offensive execution.
Yeah, I think the reaction to Sunday's game for Mac, it tells you just how painted by the outcome of a game your reaction to anything a player does in that game is, right? Because Mac was not good on Sunday, but they won.
Right.
So there's this feeling that it was a little bit better, right? Like, that's kind of how everyone reacts. So it's like he was better.
The outcome was better.
The outcome was better.
The defense was better.
The defense was better.
Right.
Yeah.
The second half usage of Brian Thomas Jr. was better. The second half, impact of Tank Bigsby was better, but not a whole lot of things were good on offense. Here was Doug Peterson asked on Monday about wanting to get Mac Jones and the offense in general going earlier in games.
I think as Mac settles into the game, obviously when, and Trevor's kind of the same way, when we can kind of get into a no huddle type rhythm where there's more quick throws, balls out fast, and he knows where he's going with the football. I mean, that's when he's obviously the best. And a couple times yesterday, protection was a little bit leaky, so he had to scramble and got some tough yards that way. But he continues to improve within the system, within the offense. And again, he's another one you'd love to get him going early in the game. We tried early yesterday to just a couple of quick throws, to get some completions going, and credit Tennessee for defending those. But I think that's something with Mac is just continuing to find those rhythm throws where he can find those easy completions early in the game to get him going.
This comparison just popped in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Current state of affairs with Mac Jones. And I'm not trying to drag Mac Jones through the streets here, right? I mean, if Mac Jones plays well down the stretch, God bless, man, and go out there and hopefully you get an opportunity to compete for a job somewhere next year, or have you back as a backup here in Jacksonville if it doesn't work out on the open market. But Mac Jones versus Cooper Rush. What's the difference? Who's better? Is there a clear-cut better quarterback?
Think so.
Cooper barely.
Yeah.
I'll say Cooper.
I think Cooper is better.
I don't think it's clear.
I don't think it's clear. And nobody would suggest Cooper Rush is any threat to anything, or is a potential starter for a team that has options.
No.
Right? Nobody's going to plan an offseason.
Backup quarterbacks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Cooper Rush, by the way, has done a generally decent job winning more than he has lost, coming off the bench when needed, when Dak Prescott has been hurt. Mac Jones is better than Cooper Rush in some categories. Cooper Rush is better than Mac Jones in other categories this year. And, Mac Jones completing about 65%, right at 65% of his passes this year for the Jaguars, which is much better than Cooper Rush at 59%.
Mm-hmm.
But Rush's 7-3 touchdown interception ratio, you compare that to 2-5 for Mac Jones. He's got CeeDee Lamb. Well, I feel like overall, you go beyond CeeDee Lamb. He hasn't had Brandon Cooks for most of the time this year. He's just back now. Is Jake Ferguson better than Evan Ingram? I don't think so.
No.
So I think that, yes, you got to give CeeDee Lamb credit because he's done it longer. He's proven more than Brian Thomas Jr., but he's also been banged up recently, and I don't think he's playing at 100%. I think the weapons are fairly comparable between the two. You can give an edge to CeeDee Lamb at the very top, but I think the overall collective options that the Jags have to catch passes are no worse than what Dallas is running out there. And if they are, it's only marginally so.
Yeah, and was it 22 that Rush had that run where he was like 4-1, 5-1,
Yeah,
something like that?
I think he was 5-1 or 5-2 as a starter coming into this year.
Yeah.
So whenever it was,
Yeah.
yes.
He had
and
that
that
run
doesn't
of 5
mean
game, and
you're
that was-
great. That means
right.
you got a team at that time.
That was a really good Dallas team.
Had a playmaking defense that was getting it done. They had a better offensive line that's kind of fallen by the wayside now. So, there are reasons. By the way, Doug Peterson, according to Mia O'Brien, is reporting, says that Trevor Lawrence has not cleared the concussion protocol yet, which is, not that he would be playing, but, had he had the shoulder not being an issue, he still wouldn't be on the practice field.
No.
A week and a half later.
No.
That's significant.
That's big.
When Trevor tweets out that night, hey, I'm feeling a lot better, I don't doubt that he was. Everyone's a little bit different. Cedric Tillman, who had a 2 or 3 game stretch where he was lighting it up as a receiver for Cleveland, hasn't played the last several weeks because he's dealing with a concussion.
Yeah.
You just don't know with these guys.
Well, between the shoulder and that being where it's at with the concussion, and there only being 4 weeks left in the season, Trevor Lawrence also put something out on social media this morning. He included Jeremiah 29:11 to start for. I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in a future. Trevor said, I'm going to miss being out there with my brothers the rest of the way. This isn't at all what I pictured this year looking like. I've been leaning heavy on this verse lately. I don't know why things happen sometimes, but I do believe how you respond is more important than what happens. I'm so blessed to be able to do what I do, and I'm not going to let some adversity muddy the vision. Better days ahead, DTWD.
Well, get well soon, Trevor, and let's hope better days ahead for all of the Jaguar organization. But like to see, for his sake, get through the concussion protocol. He has been in the building every day as he progresses through it. So he's, around the team in some capacity to some degree. But this is all, again, from Mia O'Brien's reporting from this morning. The team is going off his timeline in terms of what? It's not like he's going to do anything anyway, if he clears the concussion protocol. So that's going to happen when it happens, and then he'll have his surgery on the shoulder, hopefully sooner rather than later. But I would imagine, and this is a total guess, but it seems logical that if you are concussed, they're not going to put you under anesthesia.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Right? So
that is a reason for the delay, at least to this point, in any of that happening.
Right, you would think. So you hope for his sake, because every concussion is different, man. These things can linger for a while. So I hope the best, obviously, for Trevor and all these guys who put their bodies on the line every single week. We've got Johnny O coming up next. We'll talk more about what Doug Peterson had to say this morning, and we'll filter that out to you. And we will continue to discuss what we project to be the biggest defensive need for the Jacksonville Jaguars going into the offseason 4 weeks from now. Will it be corner? Will it be safety? Will it be defensive tackle? Will it be defensive end? I think they've got better options at linebacker in that group than they do, across the board than they do at other spots. Not
sure.
You can always improve everything, right? But you got to pick certain things and filter other things
Insert
out.
the joke about Balky drafting an inside linebacker here. Yeah.
Well, we got those extra 3rd and 4th round picks from Minnesota, so we can load up there at that point in the draft. All right, we'll take a break here. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Coach Denmark here with you. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Lickety Split. When the temperatures are up and your AC is out, You need help now, like right now, like Lickety Split, then why not call Lickety Split, a locally owned company? Get same-day emergency service for your AC. Now, look, it's not only your AC. They handle your home's plumbing and electrical, too. And when you want it done right, and you need it done right now, you can call Lickety Split and know that they're going to arrive with one of their huge fleet of techs and trucks to take care of all of Northeast Florida, Jacksonville, Oakley, St. Augustine, Orange Park, on and on and on. Online at licketysplitfl.com.
Jaguars Today.
You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's the play that turned hope into victory.
Plenty of time goes downfield, and he's got it complete.
Performance Painting presents the high-performance play of the game.
He is a force to be reckoned with. He's been doing it a long time.
On 1010XL, prepare, protect, preserve.
My Gate Rewards members, now through January 2nd, you'll get an entry for your chance to win free gas for a year each time you buy 5 eligible Monster Club products. Not a rewards member? Download the Gate app today. See store for details.
The Money Pages brings you the Red Zone featured player of the week. Number 1, Jaguars running back Travis Etienne Jr. Travis played college ball for the Clemson Tigers and was drafted by the Jags in the first round in 2021. Pick up this week's Jags game program with a commemorative ticket of Travis Etienne inside. Download the Money Pages app for weekly specials. Money Pages, official sponsor of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are you getting engaged this holiday season? Are you celebrating a big anniversary or shopping for something special for the holidays?
You do not want to miss Beards Diamond's incredible 44th anniversary sale.
Yes, 44% off going on now until Christmas Eve.
At the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Hacker here coming in at 205 pounds, night and day, thanks to Awaken 180. Guys, gals, the program is simple without needing to take injections for life. The clear choice and the choice of all of us. Awaken180weightloss.com.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
This is Hayes Carline for Kingfish Pest Control. Are you tired of spiders, ants, roaches, or other pests invading your home turf? Call the winning team at Kingfish Pest Control. I can tell you from my own experience, Kingfish will sack mosquitoes, tackle rodents, and intercept termites before they can blitz into your home. And right now, score 20% off your new pest control service when you start during the 2024 football season. Save big and defend your home with Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and if I know anything about the dudes that listen to 1010, they've got their own list of toys that they'd like to have for Christmas. You've got some of them in your showroom.
We've got all of them. We've got the toys for them. We got the toys for the kids. We got go-karts, dirt bikes, side-by-sides, ATVs, you name it. We've got it, and we are ready for Christmas.
So you can shop for yourself and for your loved ones. It's all happening at Cycles of Jacksonville, online or on Atlantic near Regency.
Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
Jarian Jones was moving and grooving while in the Volunteer State. The rookie corner tallied 5 tackles against the Titans, as well as 1 sack, and produced 2 passes defended in what was a great outing. He had the gifts that would make Santa Claus happy this season, and is your Superior Fence and Rail's defensive player of the game.
If you're tired of your fence looking like a bad hair day, well, it's time for a fence makeover with Superior Fence and Rail. They'll make your yard the talk of the town with a new fence installed by their expert team.
Your fence is fantastic. My fence is giving all of my neighbors some serious pick and envy. Thanks, Superior Fence and Rail.
So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your fence installation project today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Bud Light and everyone at Anheuser-Busch want to remind you to get home safely every time. People are counting on you on the road and at home. Plan ahead with safe rides and don't forget to hydrate between beers. Bud Light encourages everyone to enjoy responsibly and socialize safely.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Pickett here with my concierge doctor, Richard Townsend. Doc T, how does a concierge direct primary care operate?
We are a membership-based primary care made directly between a patient and physician. We'll have a limited amount of patients that allows us to give unlimited access and personal service to you. This individualized approach has been shown to lower hospitalizations as well as maintain healthier lives. We also give 24/7 access via phone to me outside of our scheduled office hours.
To learn more, go to mypvconcierge.com.
Being an athlete means having a healthy desire to do as much as you can with your body. For as long as you can. Gatorade has lower sugar, electrolyte-backed hydration options to keep you rehydrated and replenished. Gatorade, for every athlete.
From Gatorade Zero to Gatorade Endurance Formula and Gator Light, there's something for every athlete. Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. It's a win-win. Gatorade, official partner of the NFL.
Hey, it's Tony from Tony D's Pizza. If you love our pizza and pasta dishes, let us cater an event for you. Family function or office parties, we can deliver you an amazing Italian meal. Remember, it's not just pizza at Tony D's. Bay Meadows and $2.95.
Here's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, sponsored by Gate Stores. Florida head coach Billy Napier, appearing on the Paul Feinbaum Show, remarked on how the Gators finished the season was important.
Well, you got some momentum. I think for the first time since we've been in Florida, we've been able to kind of sustain some of that. And I think that's an important step in building the program.
Florida football long snapper Rocco Underwood earned second-team All-SEC honors. The league announced on Tuesday the all-conference teams were selected via a poll of the league's coaches. Scottie Scheffler, the world's #1 player, was overwhelmingly voted his third consecutive PGA Tour Player of the Year award for a season that included 7 official victories. Scheffler is the first player since Tiger Woods to win the award 3 years in a row. That's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
At 10:59, it's 73 degrees. Time at 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler, Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's time for Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Oehser. Oh no.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
All right, Johnny O's in the house here with us, and I just informed him, Tony, that Dylan prefers not to go by pockets anymore. Mm-hmm. John's like, well, who's running this show, right? I mean,
I've wondered that for a while.
Well, pretty much it's just freewheeling, John. You show up, the mics are on. Come walk in the studio right now. Somebody walks down the road, they could come right in.
Hey, what's bad about pockets and what's better than pockets?
I don't know. He just doesn't.
It's an identity.
Yeah, but you can have more of an identity.
What's the identity?
Yeah, what it just happens to be.
Pockets. Good.
It was just
pockets.
It
Everyone
was
sees pockets walk into the bar. Hey, pockets.
No. Pockets. Now he said, and we asked him. He said he's had some other nicknames. Gunsmoke was one because Dylan, Matt Dillon, that's what somebody called him. He didn't even know. He thought it was a movie. Gunsmoke.
It's like calling George T-Bone. Come on.
Yeah, right. That's funny. We call. It's not that funny. In my head, it's funny. I'll leave it alone. Anyway, he also said people called him Pickles for like Dylan Pickles. So Coach Pickles, but whatever. So we were just reminiscing about how it used to be. Like in my younger days, I felt like the producer was the guy who was there to do like stunt work for us, basically.
Yeah, right.
We don't do that anymore.
You got to keep it honest
like that. That's a summer thing. Got to do this. We got to do something over the summer where I'm doing something in action.
Man on the street, man in action.
All right, over here on Belfort Road.
Larry Bud Melman.
I think we should do that then.
I'm about it.
All right.
Yeah, I can remember we did that. It's been a while since we've done that kind of thing. I can remember I went out in front of the building across the street that one time when we were doing the Tebow Tracy McGrady thing, right? Like whenever it was like bring Tebow home, and I was like bring Tracy McGrady home. That was our thing on the show, bring McGrady home. So I went out in front of the building.
Because he was talking about wanting to play in the NFL at that point.
And so there was just some homeless guy walking down the street, and I'm on the phone on the air. I was like, hey, man, what do you think about bringing Tracy McGrady back to Jacksonville? He's like, I'm for it.
He was all for it. He was absolutely all for it, So we haven't put Tony in the man on the street kind of situation very often. We don't get a lot of foot traffic necessarily here on Hogan Road. It's strolling on by.
It's remote.
Yes, it is.
Spot.
Anyway, how are you? How are things?
I'm great. Got to win.
Yeah.
Gotta go get 2. Here we go.
What is the? I know you're. Today's first day with the locker room and all that, but just in general, how how different is the building when they win a football game?
It's always better when you win. Plane ride home, which was the last time I was really sort of around players. Happier. You did get a feeling. I got a feeling after that game, after losing so much and trying to analyze it. The old cynical sports writer in you comes out. And you're like, well, what does it matter if they won? They were out of it. And then you get around some young players who haven't won in a while, and you remember these guys are trying to win, and these guys are used to winning in their lives, and it's a great feeling. So you kind of remember. It's like I wrote a couple places on Jaguars.com. I get we're talking about draft positioning. I get the season's not great, but good for them for a day. And that's sort of the feeling, I think, is on Wednesday you got to put that away.
It's what they are out there to do.
Sure.
Right? And they should never, the players, concern themselves with draft position. And that guy's coming for you, right? I mean, he's coming for somebody, right? So it may not be your specific position and your specific job. And I also get the idea, hey, the higher you pick, the better player you're going to have available to you. And that can help, and you get an influx of talent. But I don't think those guys, some of them never even think about it. And others, I think, once the season is over with, then maybe they turn their attention to, well, what are we going to do in free agency? What are we going to do in the draft? But everybody's different.
Yeah, they watch it, but they're not as engaged with those actions as the fans are. Meaning, they watch it, they watch the draft, they're curious about it, but most players I've been around are not obsessed with the offseason the way a lot of the fans are, because they're independent contractors in a way. They care about the team, but they're getting themselves ready. They're worried about their careers and how they advance through it. So it's just not a thing when you talk about draft positioning for these players. And you get blank looks when you ask them about it, frankly, because they don't care.
I appreciated how you just threw your phone on the floor.
I thought
it sounded like one of those. You ever have one of those Nextel phones that you had the little a little walkie-talkie feature on it?
I was out. It
sounded similar to that.
I had no other solution except just to be.
I know. Well, he picked it up. He's like, he fumbled around. And it kept doing it. And he just threw it right on the floor.
I quit.
There you go.
No mas.
That's what you got to do sometimes. You got to make the tough decision, John. For the Jags, they made the decision apparently at halftime to go, hey, let's get the ball to Brian Thomas Jr., right? And this has been, Dylan, if you can get fire up cut 3 from Monday with Doug Peterson. He spoke after the game about this and was asked to follow up on just why Brian Thomas wasn't more involved earlier in the football game.
And it wasn't for not calling plays his direction, because we did. The ball just happened to go a different place, or, quarterback had to move. He scrambled early a couple of times. Mac did. But it was good to see. It was good to get, obviously get BT going. And that was the gist of the conversation was, we need to do that more in the beginning, right? Kind of maybe focus on that a little bit sooner than later. But it's not that we don't do it. It's just sometimes the ball and or the quarterback go in a different direction.
If that truly is the case, though, like we were calling his number, the ball just was going in a different direction, then what changed in the second half? Did they stop covering him as closely? You know what I mean? Like
they said stop going in a different direction.
I feel like that answer is kind of a little bit circular there. I think
you always want the offense to happen somewhat organically. I think in the last few games it's been, let's let it happen organically, but let's try a little more to get it to Brian. I think at halftime it was more of a, look, just feed him the ball.
Yeah, right. And Doug even said in the postgame specifically, we changed the game plan to make sure we got the ball to Brian Thomas Jr. And I think people hear that and wonder, why isn't that one of the top lines of every week's game plan? Because as Mac Jones said after the game, we decided, let's get the ball to our best player. Mm-hmm. They know it. That locker room knows how dangerous Brian Thomas Jr.
I think they tried early and it got picked. Then in the first half the other day, this is singular to this game, you had the one drive early where it got picked going to him. Mm-hmm. And then you had, at a 12-minute Tennessee drive, maybe not that long, but a 10 or 11 play, a long drive in the second quarter, where it didn't feel like the Jaguars had the ball that much in the first half to get it to them. The long drive maybe takes you out of a little bit too. So, but yeah, they did in the second half, and I would think there would be a little bit more of a lean that way as you go forward.
It does feel like the NFL is having a bit of a throwback kind of season where there is a lot more willingness to run the ball early to try to set up some things in your pass game in the NFL in 2024 compared to, maybe the last 8 to 10 years really in the league, maybe even longer than that. But I don't know that the Jags are built to be that.
They're not.
Like, it does feel like they're a team that's more, we need to get Brian Thomas Jr. going because that's what might open up opportunities in our run game as well.
Yeah, there's certainly some coaches talked about this early in the season. The league, it goes in cycles, and there's been more passing lately, so teams have played a lot more too deep shell-type coverage, and the way teams have tried to combat that is running at it, trying to get that drawn up. You have better numbers. I don't really necessarily think the Jaguars are built. I said it all year. I don't think they're a turnaround and hand the ball to the running back and try to drive you off the ball, run offense. When Doug and Press talk about their offense, they're always talking about, against this look, we're going to do this. If a line's got this, then we're going to go more toward trying to open things up with the passing game, meaning have the pass be part of the run and supplement it that way. So I think when the Jaguars, especially with Mac Jones, talk about trying to open up the passing or open up the run of the passing game, it's more about short passing, getting the ball out onto the sidelines. I don't necessarily think they're going to be a 20-yard downfield team with Mac Jones, the quarterback.
Right, but you don't have to be that with Brian Thomas. That's not the only way you can feature him. Now, if you get it blocked up and you get the right coverage, you want to take your shots to him, but just get the ball in his hands and let him be a playmaker. Let him catch it on the move. But I do agree with you. I think that was clearly the game plan in the first half because you saw, I think Travis Etienne had 5 catches for 40 yards, and that's what he ended with. That was...
Well, sometimes that's the way they run. Right.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Though. Right. We're not... Look, you've got 2 really good defensive tackles in the middle of that line for Tennessee.
Right.
You could just try to prove how macho you are and pound it in there, or let's just loop around them and dump it off to Etienne, and it works the same. And Evan Ingram had a lot of targets in the first half as well, and I think that was the focus. Let's not beat our brains into the strength of their defense.
Right.
They don't have this great pass rush. They've got adequate guys. They're not.
No, but they're disruptive up front overall because of the injury.
Primarily because Simmons is a disruptor, and then Tavondre Sweat is just
can't move.
A tough guy to move. Exactly right. All right. Today's question of the day, which we'll discuss with John here coming up in a moment, asks you, when you look forward to the end of the season or look towards the end of the season, I didn't say you have to look forward to it. I kind of did, but I didn't mean it that way. When you get to the end of the season, knowing which guys are going to be free agents, what the current state of the roster is, which defensive position is going to be seen as the biggest need for this team. Is it corner? Is it safety? Is it defensive tackle? Is it defensive end? Those are the options that we gave you today in our social media poll presented by Chad and Sandy Real Estate. So you can vote there if you'd like. Tony will take us around the league. When we return, more with John Oehser. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Step into another football weekend with Pregame Friday.
You got to go up-tempo with urgency.
Absolutely. Get the news, notes, and inside stuff you need to get ready for game day.
Are we ready? Yes.
Brought to you by Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
Man, if you're a homeowner and you're looking to improve the resale value of your house, you're looking to make it more energy efficient or just more beautiful to live in, Pella Windows and Doors is a great way to go to upgrade your living quarters. Now, you may be a professional that's got a construction project. Pella's got professional design consultants that'll guide you through your entire project from start to finish. That's the quality and service you can expect from Pella Windows and Doors. I replaced all the windows and the sliding glass door in my house. Went with Pella. You should as well. Consumer Reports ranks them #1 in all the major window categories online at PellaJacks.com.
Imagine driving a late model car of your dreams at a fraction of the original sticker price. For the very best in low mileage cars in Jacksonville, visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom. All luxury cars are serviced and inspected, many with a certified warranty. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Hey, Florida drivers, the holiday season is upon us. When celebrating, always plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Besides, a DUI could cost you $10,000. Not exactly the best gift you could give yourself. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on 1010XL. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Facing a DUI charge or even a boating under the influence charge? Well, I'm your man, DUI lawyer Malcolm Anthony at 285-4LAW. 285-4LAW. Once again, 285-4LAW.
The Sawgrass Marriott Golf Resort and Spa is the perfect place for indulging in a pampering spa treatment. This holiday season, give the gift of wellness with a gift card and take advantage of the spa's current promotion. With the purchase of a $75 gift card or more, guests get a credit towards a future service. With healing massages, revitalizing facial treatments, and more, a day at the Sawgrass Spa makes the perfect gift. Purchase in person at Sawgrass Spa during operating hours.
Jags Hall of Famer Tony Baselli puts on his gold jacket every Monday morning at 7:20 on The Drill.
Does look good.
It's Hall of Fame Monday with Tony Baselli.
Good? It's great.
Brought to you by Heritage Roofing of North Florida on 1010XL.
Hi, this is Jeff Norman.
And I'm Mike Jones.
And we are the owners of Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning.
With the holiday season upon us, we want to take a moment to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and say thank you to our amazing customers.
We're so grateful for the trust you place in us each year. It's been a pleasure serving you, and we hope you have a wonderful holiday season with family and friends.
And remember, if you have any issues, we'll be here to help throughout the holidays and beyond.
Merry Christmas from all of us at Duck Duck Rooter.
Now, the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Although in cooler temperatures in Tennessee, the Young Guns brought the heat when it mattered most in the contest. Tank Bigsby would rumble, bumble, and score an 8-yard touchdown for the Teal and Black in the fourth quarter, making the score 10-6 in favor of Jacksonville with 6:46 left in the game. The Tank Bigsby score is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting.
When you take a sip of Bold City Brewery's many flavors, you're taking a sip of this Bold City. In Duval, since 2008, they've been cranking out craft beer for 16 plus years now. So head to their production house on Roselle Street in Riverside or Bold City downtown and sample a Duke's, their legendary brown ale. 2 great IPAs, plus Duval Light, Killer Whale, and plenty more. It's all on tap at Bold City Brewery, downtown or in Riverside. Log on and taste the craft. BoldCityBrewery.com.
This is Hayes Carline for Skylife Elite. Are you tired of canceled flights, unruly passengers, and layovers? Call my friends at Skylife Elite. Consider using private charter flights for your next adventure. Yes, you can afford it. Make your own schedule. Fly direct. Drive your car to Craig Airport and get directly on the plane. Skylife Elite can make that happen. Call 490-9332, go to flyskylife.com, and find them on social media. Fly Skylife Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
Kuhn Flowers invites you to join their Spread the Joy gift drive.
supporting families here in Florida impacted by the recent hurricanes. They're accepting new and unwrapped toys, gifts, or monetary donations. Visit CuneFlowers.com to find out more.
Tailgate special alert. 3 pounds of marinated chicken, 2 pounds of marinated steak tips, 2 pounds of fresh ground beef, and 2 pounds of homemade sausage for only $80 to feed your crew.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. One does not simply choose their nickname. Lame. It's not necessarily that Dylan's choosing his nickname. He's choosing what he doesn't want it to be. I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm sure I've been called things over the years that I didn't love. No. In fact, I know it.
No.
Yeah, not going to tell you what they were, because then you'll start calling me that. You know? That's the way it goes.
It would have been among the most stunning moments to me in the history of the show, but I thought you were about to say one does not simply walk into Mordor, and I would have lost my mind. Right? Like, I was like, there's no way Dempsey's going to be the guy.
Harry
it's Lord
Potter
of the Rings.
Stuff.
Yeah. It's Boromir and Lord of the Rings.
Same.
Yeah. But there's
no difference in that.
There is a very big meme that is one doesn't simply walk into and then you fill in the blank with whatever you want it to be. And that does feel like someone's doing an homage to that on the text line, but okay. When you started, I was like, oh no. Oh, that's a bummer.
One does not simply choose their nickname. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it was, or maybe it wasn't.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you. Have it. Next time I see one of those, be the first time. But that's fine. A lot of people love them.
No, they do.
Well, you only got to watch the first one to get that line.
Didn't they make all those movies out of the book The Hobbit?
No.
They didn't?
No. The Hobbit got turned into 3 movies as one book, but Lord of the Rings is 3 books, and they are the 3 movies.
So which 3 movies did The Hobbit get made into?
It was
3 different movies all about the same story? Or?
Yeah, it was all just a long, drawn-out version of that short book.
There's way too much discussion on this topic. Right. By the way, out of all the books I was supposed to read in high school, I loved reading in high school. I didn't like reading what you told me to read.
Right.
What a surprise. The Hobbit was the one book I read start to finish in high school.
Really? I couldn't get through it.
I was really good at listening in class, as we're discussing the reading and just going, okay, that must be what it's about. And still haven't.
So you got through The Hobbit.
Still haven't started Jane Eyre.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
And we got on the text line, by the way, it was an homage to that line.
All right, well, good for them.
Good for them.
Good for them.
So I picked up on it, but I'm the only one in the room that would.
That is fantastic. All right. Let's see. Where was I? Right here. Somebody, I don't have it right here. I'd like to read the exact. Here it is. We seem to have a decent core, just a few pieces short, but none of us trust Balky to make the right choices anymore. Man, this high selection makes me nervous because we must beef up the interior offensive line. It doesn't mean you have to do it with that pick.
No.
And, again, you can feel any way you like about Balky. I have no say. Anything I say about Balky does not give him more or less job security. Right? People think, you don't understand. You guys talk about Balky in a positive fashion. You think Shad Khan's listening right now? He's sailing the high seas somewhere or doing something. Not that, I'm imagining. Right. But, did you trust the way he handled the first round last year?
Right.
I handled it pretty damn well.
Jarian.
Right. There are picks that we like that have made an impact, and there are other guys that initially were like, I don't really see it, but here's Tank Bigsby, getting 18 carries to 4 or so for ETN this week. He's obviously come on and been a more impactful player. It feels like Brenton Strange could be even more impactful than he is if they utilize him more. I'm not saying Trent Baalke's perfect. We understand all the warts and the flaws and all that stuff, but
if you're going to be you lose credibility if you're not fair.
I think that you have to be fair. He has hit some. He's hit some. Had some big time successes. He's had some big time whiffs as well, right? And I'm not saying every GM would be exactly the same. And I understand. You're picking here in the top 10 again. Mm-hmm. You're likely not picking number 1 at this point in time, and we'll see because and people are going to differ. And no matter who the GM is, people are going to differ. Like we talked about Will Campbell at LSU the other day, Tone, who at one point, maybe going into the season, was looked at maybe the best tackle. Now people are saying, you know what, he'd really be like a multi-time Pro Bowl guard if you played him there. Okay, I got no problem with if you take a multi-time Pro Bowl blank. I don't care what you're filling the blank in with.
They don't have a lot of those in franchise history.
Other than long snapper or something crazy like that. So if you want to go interior offensive line with that pick, fine. Okay? If you want to go defensive tackle, fine.
Yeah.
I can even see, because of the value of the position, even though you have your two starters, I could see how someone could convince themselves that defensive end is the most important thing because we only have the two and we got nothing behind them. For instance.
And it's so valuable.
I could see if the right, depending on where exactly you pick, the right receiver is there. And you say, you know what? We're not going to go chase T. Higgins for $30+ million a year. But if we got this guy with Brian Thomas and maybe one more year out of Kirk, and then you look at what we have to grow with in the future, I think there are a lot of ways you can go. So I think for this person sending it in, I respect their opinion on it, but you may hire the GM of your choice, and he may not do what you want him to do. And I get it.
But at least he wouldn't be balky.
Well, and that is it for some people. There's no question.
That's what you get from that a lot. So,
and as somebody said here, it's not just the picks, it's the free agents. I get it. He has signed some really good free agents, and he has swung and missed on some guys as well. But this team is, at least Shad Khan talked about, wanting to move away from just splash the cash, right? And invest in the guys that you've already drafted that you feel like are a good fit here and can be here for a long time. Walker Little being the latest example of that.
Yep.
So
you have to get to that.
Look, it's not that I don't realize all this, but I think sometimes when you hear it, from my perspective, you hear, no, everything Balky touches turns to poop. Okay? That's not true.
Correct.
Okay? It's just not. Now, are the overall results here this year good? No, they're not. It's not all Trent Baalke. I think the big thing, people say, he didn't do enough on the offensive line. The offensive line has not been a problem. It's not been perfect. It's not the best in the league. It fails in short yardage. Yeah. But in terms of protecting the quarterback this year,
pretty good.
It's been solid, right? Yeah. And Mitch Morse was an upgrade. All they did was change one guy. Well, you know what? Cleveland's played well when he's been healthy. Right. And, the guy that's most disappointing is Anton Harrison, not having a great second season.
Right.
He would have been the one that most people would have said, I'm most confident in that guy.
Yeah, he hadn't had great, but since early in the season, he hasn't been bad. He's
right. But I think we were expected to see an ascending player who starts to get mentioned as among the better players at his position, and that's not where it's ended up at this point in time. All right, why don't we take a look around the rest of the NFL?
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Las Vegas has placed running back Samir White on injured reserve. Dallas linebacker DeMarvion Overshown will need surgery for an injury that he suffered on Monday night and missed the rest of the season because of it. New England is waiving wide receiver KJ Osborne. Pittsburgh wide receiver George Pickens is considered doubtful for this week, according to head coach Mike Tomlin, due to the hamstring injury that kept him out last week for the Steelers as well. And the NFL has announced that they will be adding a game in Berlin to the international schedule next year. Obviously, the whole thing hadn't been announced yet, but they will be adding that game in Germany.
They did. That kind of leaked out over the weekend, and now it's official, and that'll be the only game in Germany. First ever in Berlin, but that'll be the only one in Germany next year.
At the Olympic Stadium, they announced.
Which is where everyone feels like it's going towards a full slate of international games where everybody plays at least one. In the Jags case, maybe two, but that seems to be where things are headed, but we're not quite there yet. And I'll be honest, selfishly, I hate the idea expanding the schedule to 18 and adding a bye just for fantasy football purposes. Could you imagine? I mean, it's bad enough. Yeah. No, seriously.
Yeah.
If you started your playoffs in week 14 and there's 6 teams not available, right? And that's just the way you're just going to have to get used to the new normal a little bit if it comes to that. Dylan, Coach Denmark, how many Victory Monday shirts did we end up
I texted 5 people last night. So I've gotten 4 to reply, and one's got a reply.
And we had another one we gave away on Monday, so maybe a half dozen.
Yeah.
Right? So we still got plenty left going forward in the future. So, by the way, Tony and I were gifted a couple of Prowler hats. They're brand new, right? They're very nice, but they're limited in size. This is a small medium. So, now, I'm not a small medium head, but it fits on me, but it's a little bit tight. So it's brand new with the Prowler Jaguar logo. It is Prowler Throwback Week, the second one of the season. Got a fist pump out of Johnny O right there if you're not watching on YouTube. So if you want the hat, we'll give it to the 7th caller right now at 641-1010 and probably give another one away tomorrow. Just as ET will tell you, come kind, come courteous. Be respectful to Coach Pickles in there, and you can have that hat. That could be yours, and you can wear it in good health to the game this week, or just root them on as you're sitting in front of your TV, or whatever the case may be. So caller number 7 at 641-1010. That's in honor of Brian Thomas Jr., because I'm going to start getting him the ball now on Wednesday. Okay, I'm not going to even wait until the first half of the actual game. Yeah. Let's force feed him in practice, Tony. All right, they're all ringing. Dylan will hook somebody up here in just a moment. We'll come back, and we'll kick around today's question of the day and debate the various positional needs the Jags have on defense heading into the offseason, which is still a month away, but with the playoffs mathematically out of reach, no sense in not letting ourselves glance ahead a little bit. All right, so 641-1010 gets you on to try to grab the hat. We'll come back and discuss today's question of the day straight ahead on Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180. I'd like to call a timeout to shout them out for their 10-year anniversary. 10 years ago, their founder, Paige, developed a long-term solution for weight loss that could work for anyone, cutting through the misconceptions of lose weight, quick gadgets, fad diets, and medications, and completely revolutionizing the weight loss industry with real results, most importantly, lasting results, including free support for life. That was and still is the backbone of the Awaken 180 program. Now, look, are you going to lose weight? You're going to feel better? You're going to have people tell you look better? All those things are true, but you're actually going to be healthier as you drop some of these unnecessary pounds. Your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your triglycerides, everything is going to improve. It's a wonderful benefit of Awaken 180. How do you get involved? Just simply schedule a free consultation by going online to awaken180weightloss.com. Don't just take my word for it. Hackers lost over 100 pounds. Matt Hayes has had tremendous success. Everyone I know who's tried Awaken 180 has as well. You can be next. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
This is the Mangler. Years of playing football coupled with lifestyle left my feet mangled with neuropathy. I was experiencing burning, tingling, and numbness. I spoke with 2 foot specialists, and they told me there was no cure. They were wrong. I found Dr. Nate Riddle in Ponte Vedra. After utilizing his neuropathy treatment for only 2 weeks, I noticed a difference in my feet. I was regaining my feeling and balance. If you want relief from nerve pain, call Dr. Nate for a free consultation at Riddle Wellness, 904-395-5598.
We're H-A-P-P-Y, H-A-P-P-Y, because happy Honda days are here. Everything is bigger. Bigger selection, bigger discounts, bigger trade-in values. Honda, quality, value, safety. Don't miss happy Honda days going on now at your local Honda dealer.
This is Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer. I was known for protecting our quarterback. These days, I'm extending that protection to a different arena, your home. I have partnered with Heritage Roofing of North Florida, your premier local roofers with over 25 years of experience. Heritage is your go-to roofer for hurricane preparation with same-day inspections and estimates. They also work with all insurance companies. Let Heritage Roofing of North Florida safeguard your home and family. Visit heritagenfl.com for your free estimate today.
State license CCC 1335410.
It's Awaken 180 Weight Loss Wednesday
on Jaguars Today.
One wrong click on a phishing email can cost your business everything. Data loss, lawsuits, and shattered trust. DoubleCheck Cybersecurity offers AI-powered solutions to stop threats before they happen. Visit doublecheck.com today.
When pests invade your space, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, we show up for you and eliminate pests quicker because we care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so do we. Don't live with a pest problem. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. Minix.com. Terminix it.
Follow the Canes as they storm the ACC.
I'm 1010XL's JJ LaSalva, and every week I'll bring you the Miami news and notes you need to know.
The Performance Painting Hurricane Report on 1010XL. Prepare, protect, preserve.
3D Digital has you covered for any of your business's digital marketing needs. From producing award-winning videos to getting those digital ads to follow your customers around the internet, our team has your back. Visit 3ddigital.com or give us a call at 904-712-4004 to schedule a free consultation today. 904-712-4004.
Hey folks, Dave Binion here with Zero Res. At Zero Res, we love rugs. We will treat your fine Oriental rugs with the tender and loving care they deserve. Gerard, the Zero Res rug manager, is one of the few certified master rug cleaners in Florida. If you want your rugs cleaned with tender loving care, call Zero Res. Right now, get your rugs washed and we will give you 25% off. Zero Res, spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Prosser here for Lifetime Flooring. You've heard us rave about Lifetime Enclosures. Now let's talk about Lifetime Flooring. I can tell you firsthand, the product, services, best in Jacksonville. As you know, updating your floors is one of the most dramatic changes you can make to your home. Call the experts at Lifetime Flooring now and ask about their buy one room, get one room free promotion through Christmas. 0% financing, available to meet any budget. Visit their beautiful showroom just off Phillips Highway. And as always, tell them Prosser sent you.
If you're looking for the best in indoor air quality, I've got the experts to call. Florida Home AC, the official AC provider of the Jaguars, specializing in the best air quality for your home or work with the Remy Halo. Instead of waiting for pollutants to travel through the ductwork to be neutralized, the Halo cell releases friendly oxidizers every time your fan blows air, helping those in your home that suffer from allergies and other respiratory issues. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and start enjoying cool comfort and clean air.
Icebreakers Bar and Grill in the Community First Igloo is the coolest place in town for lunch and dinner. Watch the game with a wide selection of local beers, cocktails, wings, burgers, ribs, and more. Enjoy with family and friends at Emerson and I-95.
This is Corona Premier. Just 90 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs. It's a light beer that... Wait, this is a light beer? But we should really tell people about... Right, that's why I'm here. Sorry. Corona Premier, unexpectedly, light beer.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
How much of a surprise is the disappointment of this Jaguars season? Frank Frangie, a guest of the Duval Rundown.
I'm very surprised how it went. Now, look, they've lost 10 games. 7 of those games, as I know you know, Gus, have been by 5 points or less. And the deciding play, either the winning play or the winning non-play, happened in the last minute 17 of the game. So it's been one of, but that's the NFL. The NFL has games like that. So I'm surprised. It's the most surprised I've been at how a season turned out, certainly in my 11 years of calling the games. And really, guys, in the 30 years of following the team, I'm surprised it turned out this way, and I know they are too.
I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, as we continue along here, we have given away the hat. The hat's been gone for a while.
Yes.
But, you know, I guess keep calling until you get that answer, right? So anyway, Dylan gave away a hat, and
we'll do it again tomorrow.
We will if we remember. Mm-hmm. But that's our intent, anyway, to do it again tomorrow.
Is the hat still available?
Tomorrow's hat is still available. Yes, it is. And by the way, it is a flex fit, so it's not, it will adjust a little bit to your size. Anyway, got one more for tomorrow. Worry about that. Then we'll get to today's question of the day, and we'll take a look at it through the 10-10 take.
10-10 take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take, brought to you by
Double checked. Cybersecurity made simple.
All right, for whatever reason, this laptop doesn't want to go to Twitter anymore. So I got to do it on my phone, which is just fine.
Yeah, my laptop's having the same problem going through Chrome.
Is that right?
Yeah, I use the other way to get on the internet, and it's fine. But
other
on
way?
Chrome, yeah, I don't even know what it's called.
Microsoft Edge.
IT guy Tony over here. I use the other
I
way.
use that other way, man. I just, I use my dial-up.
Yeah, it was
Got 'em
doing
the
the refresh thing.
I popped that AOL CD in there and still going. I got one of those.
What's that?
Use a little CompuServe.
I still have an AOL email address. That's
I do too.
my regular email address.
I still got a Hotmail address.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I probably still have a MySpace account. I don't know.
If I could find it, yeah.
Does it work?
I don't know.
I have no idea. Anyway.
It'd be cool to see who's on my top 8 spaces. Like, it's been so long since I've been on there. It'd be like, who did I have on there? I have no idea.
I don't think I had anybody except that guy Tom, right?
Yeah.
Who's like
He's everybody's friend, yeah.
Because he's the MySpace guy. All right, question of the day. Time. We asked, which of these positions will be the biggest area of need on defense for the Jacksonville Jaguars heading into the offseason? Is it corner? Is it defensive end? Is it defensive tackle? Or is it safety? And, for once, I'm not with the majority on one of these polls. I think I'm not saying it's what you would have to draft or what you'd want to draft with your first pick. I'm just saying this is an area we need replenishing more than the others. And I think that is safety for this football team. Andre Sisco is going to be a free agent. Antonio Johnson has been inconsistent at best.
Very, right.
Right? And Darnell Savage is an okay player, but I don't think he's any kind of long-term solution here.
You got to get better back there.
Got to get better back there. Need bodies.
That's a need you have to get better at. I would lean toward defensive tackle just because I feel like over the long range of this franchise, you have got to be stouter, tougher, better on the interior of both lines. So if I'm talking about defense, I've got to go defensive tackle. And, maybe Mason Smith will continue to improve, but it just feels like you have got to be dominant there, and they're not.
Well, and it's leading the polls, defensive tackle. And I asked Tony this earlier, John. I'm curious what you think. If Eric Armstead had been played strictly as a 3-technique defensive tackle this year, and that pressure rate, which has been shown to be about 3 times higher rushing from there as opposed to the outside, had held up.
I'd still feel like it's a need because I don't think he's dominant inside on early down. Like, I don't think he's that guy anymore. Clearly he's not because they're not playing him there. So I still feel like
I don't think that's why they're not playing him there, though. I think he's still better there than he is. It feels like a non-entity rushing off the edge,
right?
To me, that's what And again, I wasn't privy to those conversations when they were recruiting him to come here.
Yeah.
But I do feel like if Eric Armstead had played there full time, and you felt like, okay, well, Mason Smith is the guy who's the next up and comer at that 3-tack, and you'd still say, oh yeah, you know what, we do need a dominant nose tackle type guy, but we have a couple of options there. I don't know. I just feel psychologically you'd feel at least it wouldn't be pulling nearly 50% of the vote.
Yeah, probably not. But even if you believe that he could go be that guy, next year he's going into his 11th year.
Oh, I get it.
So within the context of this poll, I guess I'm just to the point where I want to see him get better on the lines until I feel like they're good enough. And I don't feel like they're good enough on your line.
Sure. I think those are the 2 spots that would be 1 and 2 for me. I think it's trying to figure out which way to go with it. I think defensive tackle is a more important position just than NFL kind of conversation. I do think they have invested in different ways in these spots. It's not like they didn't pay Devon Hamilton. They did. Right? It just blew up in their face. It's not like they didn't just draft Mason Smith in the 2nd round. They did. He just hadn't proven to be a guy that you can rely on going into year 2 of his career at this point. They've drafted Antonio Johnson. That's a guy I was very excited about what the prospects were for Johnson playing safety at the beginning of the year. It just hasn't turned out to be anything to write home about.
And he had about a 6-game stretch where he played almost every single snap to start the season.
He did, and then
had the opportunity.
Right, was playing at a level where they said we got to get somebody else on the field, right? So going into next year, those are the two positions that I think are the biggest. We have to fill these needs. I think corner has more value because it's corner, right, in today's league. So it's okay to vote that way. If I had to vote one or the other, I would vote defensive tackle given the value of the position. But I'm with you, Demps. Like, what answers do they have?
If you didn't add anything at safety, what are you lining up with on opening day? Andrew Wingard and Darnell Savage?
And Savage and Daniel Thomas as your third.
Right.
And Antonio.
Yeah.
And Antonio in the mix. Right. Yeah. But to me, I mean, I think the safety play has been really bad
and I think
this year.
You know, we haven't gotten deep into it yet, but if you look at the free agents that are available, there's not great options really at all these spots. But if there are good options at any of these four positions, I think it's safety is where there are real options on the free agent market to go add somebody to the room for the team next year. I don't think there's virtually anything on the defensive tackle market out there. Like, if you're going to get impact going into it, it's going to be in the draft.
Well, and that really shouldn't reflect.
And that's not the question we're asking,
right?
Yeah.
Not what the available pool of talent is going to look like. It's more about what your needs are at this point.
Rank it,
Right now, out of about 300 respondents, 49% say defensive tackle, 29% say corner, and 16.5 going with safety, only 5.3 going defensive end. And I get that your two better players are at defensive end, but there is nothing that gets me excited behind those guys. Now, granted, obviously it's safety. You got a bigger issue because there's not even a frontline guy that I'm excited about compared to what Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen can continue to be.
And it'll
for this
only be
team.
the 31st season in a row where third defensive end is a big priority going into the offseason. Like, this is a long-running story.
And that doesn't mean, look, no, I'm
it doesn't
not
mean
saying,
it isn't one.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do have a hard time. Like, I could see a GM convincing themselves if the best player on their board is an edge rusher, that the value of the position is such that I would take him in the top 10. I probably wouldn't be able to convince myself that, because if I'm drafting a guy in the top 10, I don't want him to be a rotational piece coming off the bench, at least not for the foreseeable future, which is what that player would be here. Corner's supposed to be really deep in this draft. Like, you get to the second round, it's supposed to be flush with talent at that position. I do wonder if people are voting corner in their desire to project, hey, I want Travis Hunter here. And who knows where the Jags end up in the pecking order. Maybe they end up still in position to get him, right? And because we assume, he's the best player in college football, but you don't typically see corners go that high. Is anyone going to have a plan to really let him play both ways and all these different things? I don't know. But I would feel much more comfortable rolling. I mean, you got Tyson Campbell and Jarian Jones, and then you can go with Monteric Brown as your other outside guy. Not saying you don't have to get better there, but you're going to have to be pretty good right out of the gates to be a walk-in starter. I think safety is going to have an open position that somebody can come right away, jump on the roster, and take that spot. So
I would agree.
I look at that as a bigger need. I want until the defensive tackle play improves. We do need help. I'm not denying that. They need help at all these positions to some degree. It's just I feel defensive end is more like if we could, get another off the bench type guy that can give you 6 to 7 sacks. That would be fantastic. Arden Key, that type of player.
You sometimes have to draft that early to get it.
They found Jan in the third round.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that guarantees that this year that value is going to be there. But, sometimes you have to draft it early. But, there's no guarantee either. I remember Matt Hayes, and I'm not picking on Matt. He said, look, if Dallas Turner's available to you and you don't take him, you're crazy. Well, he was available to him. That's the player that Minnesota traded up to get.
Right.
I think he's got 1 sack. I think he got it in the first game of the year. He barely gets on the field. Right? I mean, there's no – and, a lot of people thought he was the top 10 pick. Like, if Atlanta didn't go quarterback, then he might go 8th overall. So none of these guys, there's nothing. There's no guarantee that safety is going to make that kind of impact right away. It can be.
Yeah, and I do think, you're talking about the positional value for these guys. It's an interesting conversation to have. 2022, that draft, where Sauce Gardner goes 4th, right? And the Jags go with Trayvon. Aiden Hutchinson, that's 1 and 2 in that draft. Sauce Gardner is the 4th pick in that draft. He's probably the best corner in the league right now. If you ask teams across the league, he's at least in the discussion.
All right, I think he's in the discussion. I think
he's a 2-time All-Pro in his first few seasons in the league.
But I feel like this year the feeling is he hasn't played.
A little bit down.
Yeah.
Right, like a little bit down, but he is expected to get back on the field.
And quite frankly, given health, because he's been banged up, I'd take Aiden Hutchinson over him today.
Right. I think NFL teams, when given that option, are going to go with the impact pass rusher.
Because there are only so many big guys.
Right. Over the impact corner. It's just the real-life discussion in the league. It doesn't mean that Sauce isn't worth the 4th pick. Obviously, he's been a good pick for the Jets there at number 4. And the Jags are at least playing themselves more into that kind of position. If that is the position you're most interested in for the Jaguars in this draft, then you need them to be picking 4th. Like 3rd, 4th, 5th, that's around the sweet spot for making that kind of pick in a draft generally. It's a little bit different this year than it was in 22 because the first 2 picks we mentioned weren't quarterbacks.
Right.
Right? That affects the decision. They were pass rush guys. They were edge guys, which those guys are always going to have value. And it does seem more likely, even in this draft, and again, we haven't gotten real deep into this kind of thing, if quarterbacks go 1-2, in this year's draft, and the Jags are picking 4th, 5th, I think they're still in an okay position to get that guy, given there will be somebody at edge and probably somebody on the offensive line. The big guys are not unlikely to go in that 3-4 kind of range. It doesn't mean that corner can't go in that kind of spot, but I don't think it's impossible that they would.
No, but I do think Travis Hunter is like an exception to the rule. He is such a premium athlete and has done things that are almost unprecedented, right? That if the Jags had the number 1 pick and they got stuck there because nobody was willing to pay for either one of these quarterbacks and they went that way, it wouldn't have any issue with that at all. Like, I don't think that's their biggest need, but if you're getting a potential star, and here's the thing, is Travis Hunter a guarantee? I mean, a lot of people are going to tell you, yes, he is. Have you watched him? Plenty of guys have come down the line that were deemed to be bust-proof, and I'm not saying he'll be a bust. Right. I hope he is if he doesn't get drafted by the Jags. Quite frankly, because I don't care about those other teams' success. Anyway, Johnny O, what do we got coming up? Huddle Up podcast tonight?
Yeah, well, there is that, and I also expect to have Jarian Jones on the Ozone podcast. Nice. Looking forward to talking to him. He's to me, he's mature beyond his years. Most rookies are not great interviews. Jarian's a fun guy, and I think fans are starting to embrace him as a
coming
guy.
off his best game.
Well, and I think fans, he's an easy guy to root for, and I'm looking forward to it.
He's got a little edge to him, right? Which we probably could use a little bit more of that around these parts. All right, that will do it for us today. Tomorrow, D-Rock regales us with tales of the drive-through line. As,
yes, he does.
He buys breakfast once again. By the way, Johnny O made it in to the playoffs. So if you were the 6th seed in Jaguars Today League number 1, and you're wondering why you got booted out, because we always give the last spot to the team who's not in the top 5 who scores the most points, and that was John.
It was me
in that league this year. So
Josh Allen, Saquon.
You're well,
John's
that helps.
got a dangerous team. Yeah,
that absolutely helps, right? And I mean, you didn't finish in the top 6, but it doesn't matter.
I did not,
because you can't control what your opponent does against you. So Tony got one of those spots snatched away from him.
I did, yeah.
That's just the way it goes. And Dylan finished 6th, but also qualified on the points in the 3rd league. So there you go, across the board. There's no shenanigans going on. I didn't make the playoffs in any of those leagues. I absolutely stunk, and I really did. And I missed by 2 points qualifying in one of them, where Tony got knocked out. Wouldn't have mattered.
You had an unusually bad team for you.
It was. I had several bad teams for me, but I ended up making 7 out of 14 playoffs.
It's not bad.
We'll see. It really comes down to if I win 3 or 4 of those 7. It's a great year.
Good year.
But tomorrow, Breakfast Bowl. John, have a great day.
Guys, thank you.
There he goes, John Oehser out the door. We've got Helmets and Heels coming in next for Tony Smith and for Coach Dylan Denmark. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mike Dempsey. You said it, not me, but I said it plenty earlier today. This has been Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010.